Woo! Oh, so it's on now. Look at that. So the second that I got off my live stream, I reset my computer. You know, people were complaining about the choppiness. Looked like I needed an update or something or other. And no sooner as I reset my computer, I get 100 messages that Colby and Masvidal are booked for UFC 272. Look at that. Now, can anyone think of anyone who said that when Leon Edwards and Masvidal were booked to fight, and then Colby lost against Usman, that they were going to cancel Masvidal against Leon so they could officially book Colby versus Masvidal? Anybody remember that? I can't. I swear, somebody with a YouTube channel, someone with a big YouTube channel said that. Fucking, who was it, dude? Do you guys remember? Who said that? All I remember is that he was in a hotel room. He said he was live because he didn't have his studio available. Kind of like what I'm doing now is like, I wanted to get on really fast and talk about it. Also, I was really mad about how my last live stream ended. But I remember he was in a hotel room. I remember him being really good looking. And I remember him looking almost obnoxious in how confident he was that they would probably just cancel Masvidal versus Leon, because why threaten your Colby money fight if it can't be for the belt anyway? The only reason that it made sense to have him fight Leon was so you could justify a title shot in case Colby Covington won. Remember? Oh, man. It all tastes so good. It all tastes so good. Oh, Leon's mad. Leon's mad. Let's see. Let's check out Leon's angry tweet, you guys. What does Leon think about all of this? Because I would imagine what he's thinking is he pulled out of this fight. That's messed up, dude. My brother's about to do work. Oh, Leon Edwards has a brother that fights. Look at that. Wait, what? What are you guys talking about? Leon Edwards didn't tweet anything. What are you guys talking about, dude? What you guys talking about? But yeah, so I called that. And I called it because I understand the fight business. And I'm excited that I ended up being correct, because Masvidal and Colby are going to make a lot of dough. They're the headliners, you guys. Do you know what that means? Money. It means each of them probably have a 7-figure base. Actually, almost certainly have a for sure have a 7-figure base. And then they're going to get back in on the pay-per-view. So each of them stands to make probably $5 million or more. So think about it like this. When those two guys were eating top ramen together in their apartment, dreaming of a day where they would be millionaires together, this is exactly what they meant. A headline show where each of them is getting paid probably the same amount, I would imagine. I bet you they got the same deal. I fucking bet you they got the same deal. Yeah, the beef is totally real. I believe it. Imagine if Masvidal wins by flying knee against Colby. Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, here's the thing. They may as well put up the BMF belt, because there's no stakes to this fight. Neither of them is going to get to fight Kamaru Usman again. Well, that's not true. Maybe if Colby wins, he could fight Kamaru again. I would fucking buy it. I would buy it for sure. Now, I've got a question for you guys that I just thought of right now. Chael did a video last night saying he doesn't give a shit about Masvidal and Colby anymore. Now, that's bizarre, unless it was brilliant. Maybe someone sent him my video and they were like, hey, Chael, they're saying you're doing propaganda. He's like, I'll show them propaganda. The day before Colby and Masvidal gets announced, I'll say I don't give a shit about it. And then they won't believe that, like, the other things I say are disingenuous. I'm just kidding, Chael. I'm literally your biggest fan. I can't help but just say things that I think are things. UFC working to get Michael Pereira a new opponent this weekend after Muslim Sakalov. Bottom line. These two guys, real beef or fake beef, dreamed about a day where they would both make a fortune together in the same weight class, and they did it. They figured out a way to do it. So I'm very, very happy for these guys. It's fucking exciting. They're going to make a shitload of money. I mean, I know I heard Brendan Schaub say a thing about how much money Francis can make. And like, I don't want to derail this conversation about Masvidal and Colby, but I thought Schaub said something pretty fucking cool, which was, he was like, if you're a fan of the fighters, you have to root for Francis Ngannou to make a boatload of dough, to beat Cyril and make a boatload of dough, right? And I love that, obviously. But he was saying that like there a bunch of these guys like have that nobody's making fuck you money in the UFC. I mean, dude, $5 million is fuck you money. Like if you're making $5 million a fight and you fight 3 times in a year, you made $15 million that year. In a year. So there absolutely are guys making fuck you money. I don't agree. Masvidal and Colt, like Masvidal, he has a ridiculous deal. Last year he fought, he probably made $10 million last year. Both him and fucking Colby are going to make ridiculous money on this. Randy Hausner, do I agree with Chael? I don't. I'm looking forward. Oh my God. I'm totally looking forward to it. But I am, this is a unique fight for me personally, because I have a unique viewpoint of what's actually happening here, which makes me even more excited about the fight personally. I can't bet this fight, dude. I can't even make a pick on this fight because, well, I mean, I guess I could do this. I could say so I have to like basically disclaim it, right? If they actually hate each other, that favors George. Like in terms of who gets an advantage. And I'm not talking about like from their fight styles, saying if they actually hate each other, that favors George in terms of who would fight better because they dislike each other. Definitely George, in my opinion. I think that Colby is way more likely to still have a huge twinge of like heartache fighting his former best friend if they really don't like each other. If they're still best friends, I don't even know how to break down the fight. I really don't. I have no idea how to break down the fight if they're still best friends because, I mean, they'll go in there and they'll fight. But like, if they're best friends, in the back of their mind, neither of them really wants to win. It's like all of this was brilliant on paper. And of course they're going to do it. They've sparred 1,000,000 times. They fought each other 1,000,000 fucking times. But wait. Hang on, sorry. Oh, Shagmaster. I'm sorry, 350K. You're talking about the buys. Okay, got it. And the Masvidal fight did 1.3 million, I thought. At least the first one did. Anyway, but yeah, like they fought each other 1,000,000 times. I get it. It's like, dude, we fight each other in class every single day. Like, what's the difference? Except someone now we're just getting paid a lot. No, it doesn't matter who wins. But there is an enormous difference between fighting in the gym and fighting under the lights. And the reason for that is because when you fight in the gym, if you beat your boy, it doesn't really, like, who cares? You know, like, doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Like, you just won that day. The end. When you win under the lights, you're taking something from them. Like, even if you don't, like, once you're actually in there and you know, it's like, you might think it wouldn't matter to you, but I guarantee that it will matter. Like, you don't want to take, because taking a loss in the UFC is such a huge deal to a person's career. You don't want to do that to your best friend if they're friends. Like I said, if they hate each other, I mean, obviously, like, Colby has proven he fights exceptional under duress like that, where the whole fucking crowd hates him. But this is different because they used to be best friends. I think George feeds off the "I don't like you" really well. But you guys know my feeling on this. You know what I mean? I don't understand why everyone always fucking puts the Adderall thing in the comments. It's so bizarre to me. The Wi-Fi is not going to get knocked out. My computer needed an update. Everybody said it's on. It is on. UFC 272. ESPN said it's on. So it's official, sounds like. Adderall's my nickname? That's absurd. There are way better substance nicknames that would be more applicable. No. They're not. No. They're not announcing that without contracts. It says they said UFC said it's UFC 272. It's on, is what they said. See, look. The grudge match we've all been waiting for goes down between Covington and Masvidal in Sin City, UFC 272. ESPN and SportsCenter breaking news. Wait, no, definitely not Coke, dude. I fucking hate blow, dude. Thank you, Disc Golf. Contracts are signed. Yeah, they wouldn't fucking announce it like that. They're headlining, dude. I don't play disc golf. I play golf. See? Check it, you guys. It's storming out in fucking... God damn it. See? I play golf. I don't know if you can see that, but whatever. I live on a golf course, and it's fucking awesome. It's just as good as I thought it was going to be. Thank you, Unicorn Pilot. What do I think about amphetamine? Like meth? I wouldn't have no idea. I live on a golf course, yes. So what if Francis wins? Who does he fight in his last UFC fight? There are assumptions in your question that may not apply. Thank you guys. Like I said, it actually got booked, you fuck. You think I would fucking put breaking fucking Colby and Masvidal got booked? They're booked. UFC 272. I watched Shale's video on it and I don't understand. It's a very, very weird channel. I mean, take. Especially because Chael and Colby are close. Like, what are the odds that fucking Chael does that video the day before the fucking fight gets announced. Like, I don't even, it's so bizarre to me. I don't know. I found that quite bizarre. Leon said 2 bums coming off 2 losses. Oh, 2 bums coming off losses. Well, we'll see. We'll see, Leon. We'll see how you do against Kamaru. Good luck, dude. If you beat Kamaru, you can talk all the shit in the world, dude. That is for goddamn sure. Damn, people got content up fast, man. You think Chael likes talking honestly? No, I know. That's right. I don't think he has the opinions that he says sometimes also. Oh, he just likes talking honestly. Okay, got it. I thought you meant like he likes being honest. I was like, he says some things that are clearly not his actual opinion, dude. Like if you're telling me that Chael really believes that fucking Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou wouldn't sell, come on, dude. You're going to have to do a better job of convincing me, because I don't believe that you believe that even a little bit. You know what I learned the hard way, you guys? Getting things shipped from China, like, they're not lying about this fucking shipping crisis. Shit just doesn't fucking move, man. Thank you, Filthy Casual. I aspired to have a home like this as well. Oops. That was the wrong direction. Anybody who wants Gone to win needs to have like a strong reason. Straight Shooter, thank you very much. Chael also said during that Francis ghosting Gone, pay that cameraman more money for capturing a genuine and spontaneous moment. Hype. Oh, you know what? I actually know for sure that actually was genuine. As weird as that sounds, that actually was. Or, well, at the very least, they set Francis and his team up. Like that, it might not have been genuine, but they did set Francis and his team up, because Markel was like they didn't know. They just they had them walk down that way, and then, because it had nothing to do with Cyril Gane. It's Francis and his old coach have a problem. Gane is faster than Francis. Yep. I mean, they said, you remember when Gane fought Rosenstreich? Do you guys remember that fight? Rosenstreich, vicious kickboxer also, right? Remember that? Who remembers that fight? I thought it was boring as fuck. The Weasel came on after. He was like, Cyril just put on a masterclass. I was like, I guess. I found it. I don't mind 5-round kind of chess matches. I just thought that one was fucking boring. Francis fucking blitzkrieged Rosenstreich and knocked him out in 15 seconds, dude. 15 seconds. Gane is much better all around. What does all around mean? Define all around. Gane is a kickboxer. We've never seen him do anything on the ground at all. Francis has lost 1 fight. Gane has the same weapons as Francis, but far more. Okay. I mean, it just doesn't matter. Like, people can say whatever they want, dude. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay. I mean, fuck, dude. Well, I mean, I'm obviously extremely biased on this particular topic, so take it all with a grain of salt. But Cyril Gane is 10-0. And since he got in the UFC, he won submission, heel hook, submission by arm triangle choke, submission by heel hook. Okay, and these fights were over Paseo, Maez, Tanner Boser, decision. Junior Dos Santos, he won by elbow. Rosenstreich, he won by 5-round decision. Alexander Volkov, he won by 5-round decision. And then Derek Lewis, he knocked out. Okay, so that's good. That's good. For some reason, I've never understood why people love hating on Francis, dude, which is fucking crazy to me because Francis, let's just go to his UFC debut. Okay, so he fought Luis Oliveira, knockout, second round. Second, Curtis Blades, knockout, second round. Then he fought Mihajovic, knockout, first round. Then he fought Anthony Hamilton, knockout, first round. Then he fought Arlovsky, knockout, first round. Then he fought Overeem, knockout, first round. Then he lost to Stipe, the best heavyweight of all time. He had no wrestling at all, none. Had never even taken it serious, never even seriously trained it. And he got out wrestled by Stipe. The Derek Lewis fight is a non-existent fight that literally does not count. And anybody who saw it, if you don't understand why it doesn't count, there's nothing to talk about. Like that's a non-fight. Okay. Then he went and saw a sports psychologist, got his life together. Then he won by knockout in 45. This is the run that he's on right now. Curtis Blades, knockout, 45 seconds. Cain Velasquez, knockout, 26 seconds. Junior Dos Santos, knockout, 1 minute and 11 seconds. Rosenstreich, knockout, 20 seconds. Stipe, greatest of all time, knockout, 50 seconds into the second round after beating the living fuck out of him in the first round. Now, anyone who feels confident betting against Francis is out of their goddamn mind. Like, I'm not saying he's going to win for sure, but everybody that's like, Gon's going to fuck him up. It's like, what movie have you guys been watching that I somehow missed? Because 1, 2, 3, 4 fucking top 6 guys unconscious inside a minute in a row looks pretty fucking scary to me, especially when you factor in the fact that then he fought the heavyweight GOAT who tried to wrestle him like last time. Francis fucking demonstrated that now he knows how to wrestle and kept it on the feet and then beat the fuck out of Stipe, who barely survived, and then he knocked him unconscious in the second round. I mean, like, how could you possibly feel confident betting against him? I don't understand. How could anyone feel confident about that? It makes no sense. I am betting on Gon. And you want to know why? Because to dampen the emotional blow if France doesn't win, I'm going to probably make a huge bet on Gon, just because that, like, it'll be an amount of money I don't care about losing as long as Francis wins. In this case, it would be hard to even fucking come up with a figure because I care that much. But cardio is how. Daniel Lester. Look, it go like this. Raise your right hand, okay? Reach for a pen somewhere in the area. Write down how you can say that cardio is how you're going to beat Francis, given that Francis has knocked out every single person that he's fought in the first round. And the only time that he went 5 rounds, he got gassed because a wrestler laid on top of him and made him work from the bottom, which is impossible that Gon is going to do. Write down that information, hold it up to the screen. It doesn't matter what it says because there's no fucking justification for it. Cardio is how he's going to lose. Lewis beat him. Lewis, dude, that fight was the worst fight ever made. Like, literally, that actually is the worst fight ever. Francis is more skilled on the ground for sure. I have insight you guys don't. Like, he like, I don't know. I mean, you can go back and watch the interview with Eric. Eric, his head coach, was like, people don't understand how fucking good he is on the ground now with his wrestling, and he likes it, and he smashes people from the top. It's possible Francis goes out there and fucking takes Gane to the ground. I mean, Gane is fucking awesome, obviously. No, I would never. No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing the press pass interview guys thing. That's not my shit, dude. That is not my shit. Colby and George is booked. I know that was the start of this. This live stream. Big John McCarthy can call me whatever he wants. He's fucking 6'5", like 3,000 pounds. That dude is fucking enormous, man. But that doesn't mean anything when it comes to my opinion on Francis, because I just laid out exactly why my opinion is what it is, and it doesn't have to do with the fact that I fucking love everybody on his team. Hi, Will. I don't have any idea. I heard Gilbert and Hamzat was happening in April, but I don't see Francis quits on his stool end of round 4. Okay. I'll tell you what, if he quits on his stool for any other reason than a very serious injury, I will fucking send you $10,000. Fuck, I'll send you $100,000. There's absolutely no fucking chance. None. Zero. Serious injury, or that would never happen in a million years. If you actually even consider that even a possibility, you don't know this guy's story. Okay. How many, you know what? Let me ask you this, dude. How many, I know, Daniel, we're just talking here. How many people feel like they know Francis's story for real? Like actually for real know his story? Matter of fact, yeah. How many have seen Mix Molly Wapari's 3-part documentary on Francis Ngannou? 10 G's, baby. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Because the bottom line is, if you watch that, the 3-piece that Molly put together, and you're not rooting for Francis, you're a fucking sociopath. Like I'm actually serious about that. Like, okay, so anybody who said, yes, I watched it, you watched the Mix Molly thing, now say, are you rooting for Francis? Yes or no. So like only people who have seen it answer yes or no. Are you watching it? Or I'm sorry, are you rooting for Francis? Only answer if you've seen the documentary. Of course. I just realized that you can just say that you've seen it when you haven't, but because I could just pick and go, yep, if you say no, you haven't actually seen it. I mean, it's just that simple. Unless you're a sociopath. Like literally that's that. I mean, he didn't quit against fucking Derek Lewis. He just never fought him. He like lost his mind. Hold on. Someone's blowing me up. Hang on. Oh man. Jordan, thank you for this, dude. Volkanovski versus Korean Zombie. The fuck? Same fight card. Jordan, if you're watching this, thank you, dude. Dude, you're not spamming me with breaking news, man. That's actually incredibly helpful. Like a lot of my biggest videos ever have been because people sent them to me like right when they came out. And so I got to get something up really fast. Stephen Crumley, you guys, scroll up and read what he said. And then imagine that happening 11 times. And when you're trying to cross the ocean, you get on a fucking rubber dinghy and you're trying to paddle across the Atlantic Ocean with your bare hands. All why? Why is he doing it? And why is he trying to paddle across the Atlantic Ocean with his hands? So that he can try to become the heavyweight champion of the world. Like if you're like, seriously, okay, just to put in perspective, just to fucking put in perspective. I don't know what kind of background you guys come from, but if you're an adult and you haven't ever really kind of reflected on like where you ended up and the impact of where you came from, what that had on your outcome, I would find that kind of bizarre. Because I think about that shit all the time. Like I think about like, you know, I don't know, like you watch The Wire, which is just basically like a documentary about what it's like to grow up in the inner city. And you just look, you're like, dude, it doesn't, my personality and like things that I consider to be assets in my life that have like helped me achieve things that I was after. Like if I was born there, they would have turned me into a murderer. Like they would have turned me into a person who sold drugs to kids and murdered people. So like I was born where I was born. I ended up here. Had I just been born in a different place, in a different environment, I would have become a murderer who was either doing life in prison or probably got killed myself. It's like, and that's just in the fucking United States. You know, Francis was born in Cameroon, hopeless. No one succeeds from there. There's no one. He's in a fucking sand mine. His only view of like what real success could be from is on television, like a lot of people. But he's in Cameroon, dude. There's no fight camps out there. And he went through a multi-year ordeal just to get to Europe that involved camping in the forest, fucking, you know, like living on like forest animals, getting thrown in the desert, getting thrown in jail, paddling across the Atlantic Ocean with his hands multiple times, constantly getting just thrown backwards. Like he got to this point and then he'd get caught and then thrown backwards, just over and over and over and over, just getting to where you could get a little closer, thrown backwards. And then eventually he gets arrested and gets thrown in jail in Spain. And then when they let him out, he's in Europe, goes to France, is living homeless. And the entire reason he did this was because he wanted to try to go be the heavyweight champion of the world in boxing, but as a combat sport participant. Like he went through all of this with the vision of becoming what he is now. He climbed razor wire, like fucking got caught up in vicious razor wire. People get killed. Like people die getting caught in the razor wire that he scaled. Like the story is fucking unfathomable. And then he starts training when he's in his fucking mid-20s. It's impossible. It's impossible what he did. Like it's the behavior of a crazy person. So to me, it's like, if you're not rooting for fucking Francis, what do you even like about this sport? Like you just like seeing people get punched in the face. Like I love the sport for exactly that. I love it to see what people are willing to go through to achieve incredible heights. Like that's what the fight game is like going through basic like fucking torture every day to train yourself to be incredible. And then you have to perform under the lights. It's like, I mean, most people coming from really, really challenging backgrounds, or at least a lot of them. That's why Connor can almost do no, I mean, you know, like he can do wrong with me, but like I watched Notorious. I fucking went on that ride with him from he's on welfare. Like he's fucking on welfare. He's getting bills sent to him in the mail while he's living with his mom and his fucking lady. And because he's like, no, I'm going to go be the champion in the UFC. And you go on that journey with him where you're like, I know everyone has a story like that, but if you've seen it, it's fucking hard to like, it's hard to detach from it. If you've seen it, if you've seen it for yourself. That's why I love, if I went through all my favorite fighters and then you connected them back to Mix Molly Wapari's videos, you would be like, I think I see a pattern forming here. It's because Mix Molly's so excellent at capturing that journey in people. Contracts haven't been signed, but the bout is nearly finalized. Huh. Wow. Those snaky motherfuckers, dude. It's brilliant. It's what I would do. It's what I would do. If someone so Nathan, thank you very much. Thank you. So speculating on the business, right? So if they announced it and the contracts are not signed, what do you think that means? Like, what do you anticipate that means? So I could tell you what it would mean if it was me that announced it. That would mean that we were right there, one or both of them, but probably one of them. Although, well, let's just assume that they're not best friends at this point. One of them has like one kind of sticking point that they're being a prick about. And so that's a power move. You announce the fight. And that way, for the, breaking news, the fight's happening. And that way, the fighter that's being a prick, in order to stand tall on the clause or the detail that they're trying to negotiate, they would have to actually come out and go, the UFC lied. No, it's not signed. Like, because I blah, blah, blah. They'd have to try to like explain themselves or explain something, whatever. Because there's no other reason to announce it before it's signed, I don't think. That's what I would guess would be. It's a negotiation tactic over, and they are probably right there. And they have like a really minor sticking point that the UFC thinks that they could push over the line by announcing the fight. Nathan Bush, thank you very much, dude. Or I'm sorry, AJ Ross. Sorry, AJ Ross. Sorry, your fucking picture's black. I didn't even realize you were. I thought Nathan Bush just wrote like a long ass fucking message. The Connor statement was bullshit. Have you seen Notorious? Like, I mean, have you seen it? What if Francis loses? Thank you very much, Nathan Bush. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, thank you for that. Do I believe Masvidal when he says Colby has said no to fight him 4 times? So how do I answer that? Now that they're actually fighting, I don't know how much of my opinion on this I should share, but God, okay. Thank you, Nathan. Would you be just as likely to buy the pay-per-view if you knew Colby and Masvidal were best friends and they juked this thing? More likely, actually, you know what? Don't actually answer that. Hang on. This is a good poll. Boom. You guys handle that, and I'll look up Dusko. Where did that go? Dusko. What was it? Oh, gee. Oh my God, are you serious? You had me fucking waste my time with that, dude. All right, let's see. Oh, wow. Split down the middle. More likely, less likely, unchanged. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to say pretty confidently, though, that the ones who said more likely to buy it if they're still best friends are still buying it if it's fake, right? I'm sorry, are still buying it if it's real, right? So, like, it's signed now. See, like, I mean, obviously I'm going to buy it either way, but like, for me, if they're best friends, it's like the best thing in the world. Mike N, my like, there's no one to like tell at my channel. I am my channel, and I certainly don't unsubscribe anyone, so that's really weird. No, MMA news. Well, someone was saying that they said if you scroll down or whatever, it says it's really close. It's not signed yet or whatever. If they put a belt on the line, it would be the BMF belt. You would think, right? Or make like another BMF belt or something. I don't know. Oh, dude, the peach tea is the Happy Co. How many pay-per-views do I think it will sell? Oof. Man. I don't know, man. A lot. A lot. I look like Canelo. Yep. Canelo's got a nice golf swing, man. He's got a nice golf swing. Yeah, if they're going to headline, they need a belt. I mean, they don't really necessarily need it because like they just did Connor and Dustin twice as headliners, and those were the two biggest selling pay-per-views of the year. So they don't like need it, and I don't think that's going to be like a mandatory thing. The first, if I'm not mistaken, the first time they did a headliner that wasn't for like a championship belt was the one where they created the BMF. And then the following, fight, which was very soon after that, if I remember correctly, where they didn't have a belt was actually, let me just check that before I say Connor versus Cowboy was what date? I think Connor versus Cowboy was like January 18th, 2020. Okay, so I think that was right after MASVIDAL versus Diaz. I think that was the end of 19. Yep, November 2nd, 2019. Fuck, I'm good, dude. God damn. But yeah, so the first one they did, they put up a belt, but then I think they kind of were like, well, maybe we don't need to. Yeah, do you guys mind? You guys, can you throw a like on this thing real quick? I would be very grateful if you guys do that. If I get 150 likes, if I get up to 400 likes, I'll show you guys my boobs. Just kidding. Gone and Francis, I don't think it's going to sell very well because they have literally nothing else on the fucking card except for Moreno and Figueiredo. I mean, like, you can just see, like, Ivan, thank you very much, man. Listen, here's what I'll tell you. So common sense, Cyril Gane already said what he made on his last fight. Okay. Now he has an interim belt. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. But whatever. His challenger fight before he fought Francis, he said he made 380 grand when he fought Derek Lewis as a headliner. Okay. So, he doesn't have some big monster deal. Even with an interim belt, I would doubt that he has much. I would bet you a lot of money that his base is under $1 million. Francis, we know for sure is not high because he hasn't signed a new deal in fucking 5 years. So if you look at the rest of the card and consider how much they're actually spending on the fighters to put this card on, it's not very much, dude. Their fucking payroll for this fight card is probably as low as they do, which is for obvious reasons. If Francis would have signed a long extension, before they were putting the card together, I would imagine they would have stacked the shit out of this card. Like this is the thing, dude. And I'm fucking firmly on Team Francis. I will always be on Team Francis just because of the relationships that I have with his team and stuff. But I just don't look at business as as it being personal. It's like you can end up getting really pissed off at people that you're trying to engage in business with for this reason or the other reason. But the behavior of the people that you're kind of engaged in business with is always pretty fucking predictable because you know what their goals are. Like human beings do things because they have specific goals in mind. Okay. I'm going to go it's when it comes to personal behavior, it's one thing, maybe you enjoy doing this or maybe you enjoy doing that. But when it comes to business, you're fucking doing this because you are doing business to make money. And so you always know, if you can figure out how the other party thinks that they're going to maximize revenue or profit or whatever, or what they consider to be an asset and how they can best control that asset, then you know what they're going to do. And so if I'm Francis, actually. So if I'm Francis, it would be really easy for me to go these guys are dicking me over. I have a piece of the pay-per-view and I'm not going to get very much because they didn't put anyone on the card. So I'm mad at the UFC. And I believe that would be very misplaced, emotion, because once you've stated that you don't want to do a new deal, potentially don't want to do a new deal, and you might go somewhere else, why on earth would the UFC spend money to turn you into a bigger, more valuable asset that you can then take across the street and it can be used against you, especially if it's Francis, and it has tremendous, tremendous potential impact on their business. What Brendan here, I'm going to show you this thing that Brendan Schaub said, just so but hang on real quick. Hey, dude, I was just realizing we haven't heard from the kids today. Do you want to check in with those guys and see if they're getting started and if they need anything from us, and just kind of double check that we're good? And you can let them know that we heard from the Christie's guys, just because that might end up being valuable for them at some point too. So hang on. Brendan Schaub.
You're a fan, and I hate that because it can come at the cost of Cyril Gane losing.
Victive, thank you very much, dude.
Fighters, and you want fighters to get paid, and you want fighters to not fucking have to have YouTube channels and hold mitts when they're fucking 40. You want guys like Francis to win and set the path for other fighters at his level to be able to leave the UFC and make fuck you money, because they're not making fuck you money in the UFC. There's only one guy who makes fuck you money. His name's Conor McGregor. That's it.
Fonzo, thank you very much.
Nobody is riding off to the sunset.
But
Nobody.
no.
Francis has the ability now to knock out Sirgon, become heavyweight champ, and make real fuck you money. So you kind of got to root for Francis here. Hey, and it's nothing against Sirgon, but for the love of the game, we want Francis to win for those reasons. Because if he wins, man, you're getting Tyson Fury. You're getting Wilder. You're getting Anthony Joshua next.
Correct. But so okay. Let me unpack that, right? So I'm not sure if he was super clear on what he was saying, or if this is even what he meant. But like where he's like, if you're a fan of the fighters and you're a purist and you want to see guys make fuck you money, then you got to root for Francis to beat Cyril and go make fuck you money against Tyson. Now, some people might hear that and they think what he's saying is like, well, how could you root against Francis? You want him to go make lots of money. That's not what he's saying. I mean, it's what he's saying, but that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is, if Francis beats Cyril, leaves UFC, and goes and makes fuck you money, it shows other UFC fighters that they can also do that. It's not necessarily true. That's the thing. So that's a partially, I mean, like I like where Shab's heart is on that, and I like where his head is and his heart. It's a little bit misleading though, and not necessarily accurate, because the reason why the negotiation with Francis is such high stakes is for that exact reason, right? It's like, if other fighters see Francis leave and then he ends up doing some huge event that's really successful, right? And him and Tyson Fury do whatever. We're all taking hypotheticals. We don't even get into the if or what, right? But let's say that they do a really big, successful event. And let's just say it sells, I don't know. Like, let's say it's not even that big. Let's just say it sells $750,000 pay-per-views. And they do it at, it's boxing, so you can kind of set whatever price you want. So let's say they just do it at $75. Okay, that's 56 million plus another, call it 12 million between the gate and sponsorships. That's $70 million. Okay. Now, the pay-per-view provider, which I believe is Showtime, is going to take 20% of that. So 14 off the top. And then the two production companies would split the rest. And so Francis could, and again, I think those numbers are very low. Francis could easily make $20 million on that fight. Easy. And, but even an even better example, because if they fight barefisted, they're going to do more than 750,000 buys. Let's say it does 1.5 as an example, which also is not even that many versus what it could do if they really do a great job. If we really do a great job. So 1.5 million times 75 is 112,500,000. And with then so let's say it gets to 120 million. Francis makes 45 million or something like that. Like, you understand the ripples that would send through the mixed martial arts community? Now, it wouldn't be a fair comparison at all, right? Flash Dagger, thank you very much. Let me see. What if Francis gets himself DQ'd, loses the belt, no extension on contract without a real loss, win-win for him? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't endorse that, because how, if he gets DQ'd, he's gonna have to hurt Cyril like cheating or something, But yeah, I mean, that for sure. But like, thank you for the super chat, dude. So if Francis goes and does that, like, you think that like other fighters who get to be very prominent are not going to be looking at that kind of like, whoa, maybe I can go do that. The thing about it is, though, is like I said in the video that I did about Triple C, even if people see it and they want to also do it, in order to be in a position where you could actually negotiate against UFC using that as an example, it wouldn't even matter, to be perfectly honest with you. Like it might matter for a very, very small group of guys who actually have leverage on the UFC, because if they don't fight, it actually matters. The UFC's entire business model is built on a few really big events throughout the year, and then other ones that are kind of like predictably middle to small. And if you take away a handful of guys that are the ones who generate those really big pay-per-views, that does hit the UFC's bottom line. But outside of those guys, in order to get into the position that Francis is in, you have to turn down if you're a star that has the potential to get there, they're going to have to turn down new deals, turn down guaranteed money, and bet on themselves to win in multiple fights. Like, the fucking balls on that is just, it's astronomical, dude. DK Loud TV, thank you very much, sir. I also got a YouTube show. Who do I have winning between George and Colby? I don't want to see George with another wrestler. Dude, I really have a hard time picking that fight because I don't know what the real situation is there, which, you know, a lot of my picks are heavily impacted by what I believe their kind of mental state is, or their feelings towards the other fighter, or things that are going on outside the octagon. You know, like I bet against who did he fight again? Hang on. So Edmund Shabazian. Jesus Christ. Hey Siri. Shabazian. Wait, what? That's not what I meant to do. Hey Siri. Google Edmund Shabazian.
Okay, I found this on the web for Edmund Shabazian. Check it out.
Okay, hang on. So, like, here we go. Okay, so let me see. So, like, when Shabazian was going into his last fight, he was fighting against Nasruddin Imavov. Okay, so his previous fight, he fought against Jack Hermanson, lost a decision. The fight before that, he got his ass kicked by Derek Brunson. And this guy, Imavov, was a setup for Shabazian to win, because Shabazian had been kind of like anointed by Ronda Rousey, and he was with Edmund Tavardian. And he had run through everyone before he got beat by Brunson. And I remember looking at Edmund Tavardian in that fucking Derek Brunson fight, and it was the first time that he had another fighter that was kind of like a really like strong prospect, and I could just see like he's gotten fucking annihilated in the press, dude. And people think that like that shit doesn't matter, dude. That'll destroy your fucking ego, dude. And you could just see that that's exactly what had happened to him. And he was so happy to be back there with Edmund Tavardian. And I completely understand the dynamic between coach and fighter, or coach and player, or whatever. And especially a young fighter like Edmund Shabazian, who has been around listening to people talk shit about Edmund. And so he feels an enormous amount of pressure to deliver, because he's not just delivering for himself and his own career. He's delivering to basically like vindicate his coach. And he lost bad. He got his fucking ass kicked by Brunson. Brunson fucked him up, dude. He got fucked up. And then he won the first round against Jack Hermanson and lost again. And so he's going into this fight that he's supposed to win. But I know that he's wearing this fucking blanket of pressure because he's still with Edmund Tavardian. And now he's got like, he has the blanket of pressure, and also he has that stress right here that a fighter gets when they've lost a couple fights. And I was like, I don't care who he's fighting. I'm not betting on a fucking 21-year-old who's wearing that blanket, dude. And I bet against him, and he fucking lost. And so when it comes to like Masvidal and Colby, if I don't know for sure that they really hate each other or if they're best friends, which is literally absolute fucking opposites. Like if because they're either genuine, complete enemies or such close best friends that they juke the whole world. And if I don't know for sure which side they're actually on, I can't pick this fight. I mean, it might sound ridiculous, but if you saw the world the way that I do, you'd completely understand. Like that's how I pick shit, the way I described the Shabazian thing. Anyway, I mean, obviously there's also like, you know, fucking just X's and O's. But X's and O's, I think it's likely that Colby kind of smothers Masvidal and just nullifies his ability to be effective and wins by smother. But who knows? That would be my guess if I had to just guess. But anyway, so Francis, UFC, whatever. So if other guys wanted to do what Francis did, like I said, they would have to bet on themselves, because if you have 4 fights left on your deal, right? And you're like, well, listen, Dana, like if I'm going to sign a new deal, listen, I don't know. You can't really make it that enticing because like I'm going to go fight against, I'm going to go fight against this guy in boxing and I'm going to make 3 times as much. I'm 5 times as much money. You know, like you're offering me $1 million a fight, 500. They're offering me 5 million. So this is not an enticing offer. And he's like, okay, then don't sign it. What? He's like, well, right now you're on a 150. Okay. I'm offering you a guaranteed $350,000 more base and an additional $500,000 on top of that if you win per fight, not to mention bonuses. Yeah, but they're offering me 5 over there. Well, you have 4 fights left on your deal, dude. You know, I'm going to offer you an extension of an additional 3 fights. So you locked in for 7 fights, but I'm giving you an enormous raise. You're going to make $1 million if you win. Yeah. But I want the 5 million. Okay. Well, you have to fight 4 more times then. So to not take the new deal every time he fights for those 4 fights. Okay. Assume that he wins all 4, which is a pretty large assumption. Okay. Assume that he wins the next 4. He's sacrificed, what I say, 150, so 300, 700 grand for each fight. So he had to sacrifice $2.8 million to get out of that contract, knowing that if he lost one of those fights, the value that he could get over there goes away. Because that's the thing. If you lose, not only do you not go get this fight over here, you come back to the UFC, you're all, you know what? Hey, I decided I'll take that $1 million. They're all, oh yeah? Well, I got a surprise for you. There's a new deal on the table. You're at 150. You're right. You're worth more than that. Now it's going to be 175. What happened to 500? Listen, dude, you were hot back then. I told you should have taken that deal. You just lost, dude. So you could fight your contract out, but so that's why even if Francis goes and makes a fortune, like it's going to be very hard for guys to duplicate it, you know? Straight shooter. Thank you. Francis also had that Kimura win that was like 90% strength, 10% technique. Terrifying. Yeah. That was a while ago too. Let me see when that was. God, Francis torquing on Kimura is fucking scary. Oh, Anthony Hamilton. Jesus, how fast did that guy fucking tap? Can you imagine Francis torquing a fucking Kimura on you? My God, dude. That is the scariest thing I mean, I just imagine what I've seen when like on jiu-jitsu videos where like when Kimura's go all the way when someone doesn't pop, someone doesn't tap. Here's what happens with a Kimura. And you just watch a fucking elbow go pop. I mean, do you guys remember the video that I did where I was like, where I did, oh God, what's his fucking name? That shithead from the Young Turks. Sank fucking whatever. Sank from the Young Turks, where he was like, oh, Joe Rogan, I beat the shit out of Joe Rogan. And I did that video about that. And I called him a fucking moron that should probably use Google before he says he can beat people up in 2021. It was like, hey, dude, a lot of people know martial arts. Now, if you were unaware that Joe Rogan knows martial arts, that's fucking laughable. Also, you're a fat, sloppy non-athlete who, even if you knew martial arts, would get your fucking head kicked in by Joe Rogan. And if that didn't work out, he would fucking break your arm and your leg. But then, I couldn't find any footage of Rogan rolling in jiu-jitsu. And so I just dug up a couple videos of like what it looks like when someone's, arm gets popped in half. And one of them was one of the gnarliest fucking, I think it was a Kimura, but the guy didn't tap. And it was just like, I actually censored it because it was so gnarly. You could hear it. And it was like, oh God, it was so fucking bad. It's just like the worst thing I've ever fucking seen. Beautiful, dude. Everything is fucking coming together, you guys. Sorry, hang on. Sure. In-N-Out cheeseburger, no tomato, grilled onions, and that'll do. Oh my God. Tommy Morrison fucking knocked a sparring partner's eye out of his head when he just shattered his orbital or what? I mean, Jesus, how fucking hard is he hitting his goddamn sparring partners? I've seen a lot of fucking fights. I've seen a lot of fractured orbitals. I've never seen a shattered orbital before. Actually, you know what? Kimbo fucking shattered that guy's orbital in that very first Kimbo fight, huh? Oh, sushi last week in Austin was at Soto in Cedar Park. Place is the fucking bomb, dude. I know in our in our story we were like, oh yeah, we'll show the bill. I was like, this would just be like, this is what an asshole does. Like this is like the kind of thing Mayweather would do. It's like, look at how much we paid for our dinner. I was like, this is too expensive to even show the fucking receipt. Like it was that place is very expensive. But we did omakase, an 18-course fucking omakase. I didn't even want it, dude. Like by the end, I was like, oh my God, I can't eat anymore. But you commit to the whole thing, And then when you wrap on fucking sake, it's the most expensive dinner Gabrielle and I have ever had. Like just the two of us, that's for sure. But it's amazing sushi. Jones and Gone is a boring chess match. I don't disagree with that necessarily. Wait, Jesse told this before. They wouldn't do this to 270 if Francis wasn't leaving. No. Not that he's leaving 100%. I didn't read your book podcast. Thank you very much, dude. Catch up with the replays, likes for it. Thank you, dude. No, he's not necessarily. He's not leaving like 1,000%. It was like $575 for fucking me and Gabrielle, and that's it. It was 150 for each of us. like just for the fucking sushi. And then it was, and then we drank sake, which was apparently extraordinarily fucking expensive. It was ridiculous. I mean, anyway, yeah, Tommy got AIDS, dude. Tommy Morrison got AIDS. He was like, that guy raged, man. So 3 Forks, best place to I will try 3 Forks. No, I haven't been to train with Gordon yet. When I go away from my school, I go train with Steve Hargett, another world champion. Who do I think poses the biggest threat? Michael Santoro, thank you very much. Who do I think poses the biggest threat to France? Heavyweight, Cyril, 100%. And who do I think would win, Hamzat or Luque? Hamzat. Thank you very much, dude. I don't think anybody's beating Hamzat, dude. I really don't. I didn't read your book. This backdrop is 10 times better than the trophies. Thank you very much. This is my living room. My family's gone. So I'm just literally, I'm sitting like, this is like I'm sitting on my like kitchen island. Like I'm literally just like at my fucking kitchen counter because I'm the only one here. DK Loud, thank you again. We all know Francis could KO any man on earth, but do I really think he could beat Tyson in a boxing match? Do I think Jones being heavyweight champ? Do I think he could beat Tyson Fury in a boxing match? I mean, certainly an underdog. A fucking big motherfucking underdog. A big underdog. But Francis's story is that like of a, I don't know, man, if you believe in fate, but like, here's the thing. It doesn't really matter if he wins, you know, he's a heavyweight champion in the UFC. If he goes and he fights Tyson Fury, he makes $30 million and he loses. It's still so much more money, you know? And again, that's not the UFC. Like, it's not the UFC's fault. Like I saw this thing. Actually, I don't know, dude. Because Jake Paul fucking posted that thing the other day where he's doing a fucking great job, by the way. He posted that thing where he's like, I'm not your guys' enemy. Dana, I'll retire tomorrow if you, or I'll come fight George Masvidal in the UFC and retire if I lose. If you, and then he listed off a bunch of things and it was like, you know, pay the UFC and blah, blah, blah. Pay the fighters. And he was like, the UFC made $1 billion last year. How about you pay them 500 million of it, pay them 50%, like the NBA or NFL. And then, and he said, and then take care of people's long-term health care. I mean, those things, that's a lot. Like that shit costs a lot of money. And again, like your common sense thing is like, yeah, they should. You're telling me they can't run the UFC on $500 million versus, I mean, I think someone said that the fucking fighters make like 18% or something, or like 15, which means the UFC is bringing in. I don't get into fighter pay because again, I don't have any idea how much it costs to run the UFC. But fuck me, that is a lot of money that they are making, dude. Right, exactly. 1 billion in revenue. Of course, not profit, obviously. That's why I'm saying I have no idea what it costs to run their business. No idea at all. That's why I don't talk about fucking fighter pay. You know, I'll talk about fighter pay in the context where I can talk about it without making assumptions about the UFC's business. Like where I can just be like, look, if I'm a fighter, here's what the UFC can offer. Like I can certainly say the UFC can't afford to just offer guys fucking $25 million a fight, like each. I mean, that's fucking simple math. It's like incredibly simple math that they can't fucking offer that much money. Yeah, Hamzat, whether he has a chin is like the only thing that matters, you know, like in terms of how well he's going to do. It's the only risk to him being absolutely just incredible, dude. Potentially one of the greatest ever. Dana gets 99 point. No, he doesn't. This is because overpaid fighters would put on boring fights because they just run away. What? Is that really what he said? No way. There's no fucking way he said that. I mean, dude, you definitely don't want to make them wealthy to where, because then they won't fight, dude. And you need, like, again, I mean, seriously, let me ask you guys, what would you do? Okay. What would you do in this situation? Okay. Put your business hat on. I'm not talking about, like, you have to take certain things for granted. Number one thing you take for granted is that you have a revenue target to hit, and you fucking have to hit it. You have to hit it the same way that, like, you have to hit the quote, like this quota at work, or else you get fired. Like, you have a fucking revenue target that you have to hit. The way you hit those revenue targets, you 100% need a certain number of guys who can drive tremendous number of pay-per-view buys. Guys like Masvidal, guys like Conor, guys like Nate Diaz, guys like that. And then you have your next tier of guys that are really popular and can drive a certain level. Like, you need those guys to hit your targets, okay? Now, you know that if you start paying Nate Diaz $20 million a fight, Masvidal $20 million a fight, after they fight 2 times this year, and you need them again next year, they made $40 million last year. So when you call them and you're like, all right, who are you going to fight next? They're like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? It's like, who are you going to call? Who are you going to fight next? They're like, who is this? It's Dana. They're all, hey guys, it's fucking Dana, dude. Hey, I'm at the Four Seasons, man. I'm down in the Bahamas for the week. Just like hit me up later. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like, you want guys rich because it's a good incentive, but you don't want them so rich that you can't get them to come fight because you won't hit your fucking revenue target. So what would you do? Just fucking pay them as much as they want and then just fuck yourself next year and the year after that? I mean, it's like, it's not a simple thing. And at the same time, if they are paying an incredibly low percentage to the fighters versus what they could afford to pay, that's not super fair either. But also, no one has ever gotten anything in a negotiation without leverage. Like, think about the simplest negotiation there is. Like, you go to buy a car, right? So I just bought a new car, and the guy knew I wanted it. He knew how much and he knew that I knew how much it was listed for online. So when he comes and brings me out the paper to try to go, like, we start negotiating, he brings out a paper that's listed $7,000 more than what's fucking listed. And I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? He's like, dude, they're going over asking price. It's the fucking 30th of December. You think I don't know that you guys are trying to move as many vehicles as possible by the end of the year? No, not here, man. Not here. It's the supply chain and it's like this. So he makes me break his fucking balls 5 or 6 different times just to get down to the fucking sticker price that's listed, you know? Now, the only reason that we got to where we did is because I just kept I was like, dude, I genuinely was like, you know what? Fuck you, dude. I wanted this fucking car. I'm like, you're fucking with me. It's making me mad enough that I'm going to go buy a fucking Cadillac. Okay. Like, seriously, stop fucking, like, you bring me out a fucking piece of paper again that has a number that's above the sticker price that you showed me. I fucking promise you I'm going to buy a Cadillac. I fucking promise you. And then, you know, now we're at the sticker price. It's like, you have to have, like, he wants me to buy the car. You have to know what they want. Once you're locked into a contract, what fucking negotiating position do you have? I want more money. Fuck you. But I want it. Fuck you. What else you got? I'm going to tweet and say you're mean. Don't care. Fuck. So like the fighters don't have a union. The fighters don't collectively bargain. The fighters don't have any kind of collective bargaining power at all, other than if you go with like Ali Abdelaziz and he wants to push the UFC hard with his guys. But like the reason why NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, all those places get paid more is because they have fucking players unions, obviously. And they can just shut the whole thing down. How much money does the UFC make if none of the fighters fight? What's that? What's 100% of zero? What do you mean? What's 100% of zero? Zero, right? So you can keep 100% of the profits that you guys make while we sit out until we get a fair deal. That's leverage, and the UFC will go, well, let's just starve them out. We can just wait if they think that they'll crack because they don't have any other options. It's like, well, they can't go fight anywhere else. We have them under contract. It would be fucking ugly. It would be fucking ugly. If it actually got a fighter union, it would get ugly because the UFC, because the fighter leverage, like if you're actually measuring leverage, if I'm the UFC and I'm playing this thing like hardball to win, I go, okay, go ahead and let them strike. Because all you have to do is just start doing calculations on how much it's costing you every week that they don't fight. And then start doing calculations on how much it's going to cost you. Because like they have enough money, they don't need to think short term. They're thinking long term, dude. That's why when I was talking about, launching Zuffa Boxing, I'm like, in 5 years, you could start to think that you might be able to start to rival UFC revenue. And in 10 years, blah, blah, blah. Like they can think long. They can think long because they have the capital to do that. And so I can tell you pretty fucking strongly that you're going to have to sit out for a long time to get to where the UFC will be losing more money now than they would be over the following 7 years if they did whatever deal that they were asking for. And so they know that all these fighters have no income. They can't fight anywhere else. They're all starving. So all you have to do is just wait them out. And you could even, if you really wanted to be a prick, go sign a bunch of other fighters and start putting on shows, with fucking, crossover or whatever, like picket jumpers or whatever the fuck, and then like, and then you're banking on the fact that people love violence more than they love individual stars. I mean, it would get ugly. Like it would be fucking ugly. It would be an ugly negotiation. Lose your money betting on Covington. I don't know, man. I really think that you can't say Masvidal's done, dude. What's up, Nick? You can't say Masvidal's done, man. That is not a thing that you can say. I'm telling you right now, I didn't pay a fucking dollar over sticker price. Not a dollar. But I'm not talking about sticker price. I'm talking about what they had it listed at that day. Like, they pull it up on the fucking computer or what they have it listed on Auto Trader. It's like, don't fucking get me to come down here. We've got this fucking car for this, and then throw a fucking number in front of me that's way higher than, I mean, that's not exactly what happened. I actually went down there about a different car, saw that one. I was like, oh, how much is that one? It was way less expensive than I thought, and it was brand new. I missed your super chat. Oh shit. Hang on. Let me go up. Joe, thank you very much. Lex is the CEO of the Lollipop Guild. Go to Shams Insta and find the pic of Rogan, Lex, and Brendan at Schultz. I've seen it. But 5'1", dude, come on. Yeah, it makes no, in all honesty, dude, it doesn't make a lot of sense to buy a used car right now. When you look at, like, if you compare them to what they're selling new cars for, like used cars are like, they're priced very high compared to You spend a little bit more and you spend a little bit more and you get a fucking brand new car. Oh shit. Sterling versus Jan 272. Damn. So Masvidal and Colby get to headline with a back end on the pay-per-view, and you're gonna have Sterling versus Jan, Volkanovski versus fucking Korean Zombie, Masvidal, and everyone gets a piece of the pay-per-view. Jan is out. Why? What the fuck? Why, dude? Dude, you know what that means? He's unvaxxed. Who gives a shit? Where's the I mean, oh, they're moving to 273. Oh, fuck me, dude. Wait, so Aljamain, so Peter Yan, it's because of the vaccine? It would be it'll be Aldo. What's up, baby? You what?
I'm in back handsprings too now.
Look at you, dude.
I'm going to back handsprings.
I'm utterly disgusted that someone not taking the jab would keep them from being able to fight. Especially when the vaccine doesn't even fucking work. Not for this shit anymore. Obviously.
We got hot cocoa for only the challenge. Here you go. Do you want to sip a Georgia's? Free hot cocoa for Jesse.
Oh, thanks, baby.
Georgia's. But you can try it. Dad, you want to try Georgia's? That was delicious.
What's up, yo?
Are you live?
Yeah.
I'm on a Zoom call.
What you?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna sit and eat here. Is that
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off.
a
Eric,
problem?
thank you very much. I can't pick that fight because I don't know enough. If they hate each other, I don't know. I think Colby is likely to smother Masvidal, most likely just like make it boring. But yeah. Anyway, I am I'm gonna eat.
I'm eating
now.
In and Out. That's the best.
When's the vax coming out for smallpox Ebola?
Oh Jesus.
Oh man. Yeah, you guys should go watch that video I did yesterday. It was really funny on Jesse on everything. But anyway, later guys. Chat soon.
No tomatoes. I agree. Whoever said that.
Well, they heard me.